what's happening, family? It's your man, Mark Black. You know what time it is, fam. Welcome. Welcome to Sucka-Free Saturday. We're going to have us a pretty good conversation today, so I'm glad you joined us. Trust me, if you're not here right now, you're not late. You just fashionably late, right? So before we get into it, as always, right, remember to check the links in the description below the video. There's links to reports and resources there, books, things like that to get you started and get you up on your advocacy for you and your tribe. Also, there are links there to help support my work. Again, that is at your option. It's appreciated. I'm asking people to join my Patreon. Put $5 on it, but even $1 a month is appreciated and definitely helpful. So let's get right into it, because I want to kind of keep this one a little short and sweet. Except, if I get heated or animated. As y'all well know, I be intending to keep things short and sweet, but then we get going, and you know how the spirit moves us, right? We speak as the ancestors tell us to speak, right? Today, we're going to be talking about alliances, right? The title of the broadcast is Paging or Calling Dr. Clarke. Before I get started, though, let me shout everybody out. My beloved sister Mika, who I'm glad to finally have catch a live broadcast, is in the house. Brother Chad's in the house. John Anderson's in the house. Agent Smith, I see you, fam. Welcome to the broadcast, is in the house. Sister Tanzonia's in the house. Oh boy, Peach is in the house. You know what it is, fam. If you hear, just like you come into my house, let me know you here. We ain't got to have a long, drawn-out conversation, but let me shout you out and acknowledge your presence. All right? So today, we're paging Dr. Clarke. Now, who am I referring to when I speak of Dr. Clarke? We have, Shalom, Brother Paul, by the way. Welcome to the broadcast, and welcome to Sucka-Free Saturday. We have an esteemed scholar and ancestor at this point, who some of you may or may not be familiar with, right? The brother is named Dr. John Henrik Clarke, right? Now, John Henrik Clarke was an amazing scholar. Brother was born in the heart of the South, right? And basically was self-educated. I mean, the man was driven to seek knowledge. He traveled all over the world. Yeah, Mika, you were thinking Dr. Claude Anderson, right? But nope, I'm talking about John Henrik Clarke, right? The inestimable John Henrik Clarke. In his travels to Africa and to other places, right, Dr. Clarke gained a very unique understanding of just what it is that we face, particularly as the American descendants of slavery, as ADOS. And he gave a talk once that I saw on YouTube, and I have to say that to this day, this talk was pivotal. Pivotal. By the way, Onyx, welcome to Sucka-Free Saturday. I see you, fam. Peace to you. In this talk, he talked about history because he was a historian, right? He understood history not just in Africa and in America, but all over the globe. He was a very very well-renowned, world-renowned historian. And in this speech, he came to a point where he talked about an issue that we have as ADOS. And that issue is this. ADOS, when it comes to what benefits you, what elevates you, what raises up our tribe specifically, we truly have no friends. Let me repeat that for you. We have no friends. Now, there are many people who have taken the esteemed brother's work and used it for their own ends. Okay? They know who they are, and they have to answer to us for that. But what I believe the esteemed doctor meant when he said that we have no friends was that when it comes to alliances, to connections to people outside of our tribe, it is always best if we look at those alliances as tenuous at best and not alliances at all at worst. By the way, shout out to my brother Travis, aka Black Dollars University. I see you, fam. Peace to you, and welcome to Sucka-Free Saturday. Dr. Clarke was trying to teach his people that even in the area of social intercourse and exchange, that in many ways we have to look at our connections with folk outside of our tribe as transactional. In other words, fam, when we have interactions with non-ADOS folk, we always have to keep in mind in the end, what is their angle? Now, this is not to say that there aren't people out there who are just as in the trenches for our justice claim for us getting our due as we are, right? So to all my ADOS allies out there, and you know who you are, we have some beloved ones that appear regularly on my channel, such as the inestimable Miss Denny, right? She is not ADOS, but no one would deny her allyship with us, right? But we as ADOS have to understand that at the end of the day, our exchanges, our interactions with non-ADOS people are all about cui bono. That's Latin for who benefits. You see, fam, we have an issue that your brother Mark Black wants to address with you today. And this issue is multi-generational. And I would argue that this issue is a problem that stems directly from the crucible that we faced under Jim Crow, chattel slavery, so on and so forth. We as ADOS have a tendency to neglect individual selves for being subsumed, right, for identification with a larger collective. Now, if you look at our experiences here in the United States of America, this makes sense. Shout out to my beloved sister Christine, by the way. Welcome to Sucka-Free Saturday. It's good to see you. If you were to look at our experiences here in the confines of the United States of America for the last 400 years, you would see that holding such an attitude in a lot of ways is pro-survival. It's adaptive, right? The thing is, fam, is that when winter comes, the lone wolf dies, but the pack together survives. Mr. Spacely's in the house. Shout out to you, fam. Welcome to the broadcast. So the idea that we can ensure our own individual sustenance and survival through subsuming our individual identity, our individual wishes, goals, dreams, hopes, aspirations into the larger collective is a survival calculus that in some ways makes sense. Here's the problem, as I see it, humbly. The problem comes in when we fail to understand just truly who our group really is. Let me explain. All throughout our time here, all throughout our travails here in the United States of America, There is only one thing that ADOS people have tried to be. Shout out to my esteemed brother producer. Welcome to the broadcast, fam. It is good to see you. There is only one thing, one aspiration, truly, that ADOS has had since we got here. And it is not the aspiration you think. Our one aspiration to a person is to be American. Why is it that you think that the call to acknowledge our lineage as the American descendants of slavery is so powerful? Because it tells the truth of our past, and it also tells the truth of our future. It is a title that covers the full temporal gamut of our existence here in the United States of America. Our ancestors were once the enslaved ones, the despised, the property of all and sundry. And we have fought, bled, lived, and died to remove that from us and embrace America. We are the most American of Americans. That's a fact. That's a fact. ADOS is as American as apple pie in baseball. This is why, fam, it is important that you understand first and foremost. By the way, shout out to my brother Darker Visions. Welcome to Sucka-Free Saturday, because we are definitely keeping it sucker-free today, fam. You need to understand first and foremost, fam, what your true position is here in the United States. If there is an aristocracy in the United States, you, beloved ones, my fellow tribes people, you are it. You made America. Our ancestors made what America is today. Without us, there is no America. We built it from the ground up with our hands in the soil, with our minds on the land and on the people, with our connections with the native peoples that were here before, and so on and so forth. Estebanico with the Spanish, learning 5 different Native American languages and acting as an ambassador during the day and slave at night. Without us, there is no place for immigrants to come to, the huddled masses yearning to breathe free. As the aristocracy of America, however, that changes the entire dynamic in which we operate through this whole sphere. When you understand truly what our position is as ADOS, as the American descendants of slavery, there's a lot of behaviors that you and I all tolerate from non-ADOS people that we wouldn't tolerate. We talked about this briefly in my last broadcast when we discussed why should we even be asking Bernard Sanders, Robert O'Rourke, Kristen Gillibrand, Pete Buttigieg. Why should we be asking any of these people anything? as the aristocracy, the old blood of America. We don't have to ask anybody anything. We tell them, we demand from them what will be. And if it will not be, we will make it hell until it becomes so. But that's a different mindset, it's a shift in a point of view. When you embrace the true reality. By the way, shout out to Golden Dinar, Zulu Black, and my brother Pat Asar. Welcome to the broadcast, fam. B1 to you. When you embrace the true reality of what we are in this country, you will quickly come to see that you don't have to ask anybody in America anything. You have prerogatives that you have paid the blood price for, that you demand as your right. Shalom to my sister August. It's good to see you. Welcome to Sucka-Free Saturday. You have the right as the aristocracy of America to demand what you want from America, and to make it give you what it is that you demand. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Richard, I'm loving the new place, fam. Much more room. Still a little fatigued from the move with my health issues and things like that I've had. It's been rough. I almost didn't broadcast today because I'm so fatigued. But I was just too inspired to discuss this topic because we don't talk about it enough. Lioness, shout out to you, sister. Welcome to the broadcast. Now, what does this have to do with allies? Because we as ADOS have refused to understand what our real position is here in America, we have often gone to our lessers, and I mean that both figuratively and literally, with hat in hand, rather than with us demanding our rightful prerogatives as the aristocracy, as the most American of Americans. We have failed in our due diligence to understand the true reality of what America is, what we constitute in it, and thus we have put ourselves in a position to be treated as the lesser brother, the lesser sister. Now, by the way, shout out to Chaos. Hey, it's good to see you, fam. Welcome to the broadcast. Hey, I'm sorry to hear about your health issues. Oh boy, I hope you feel better soon. Trust me, I know what that's like. Afro troops in the house. Assemble. I see you. We, because of our natural inclination to herd up when under duress, we, like everything else under this system of white supremacy, have had our natural inclinations perverted. We've had our natural inclinations perverted, diverted, turned around, and used against us. You don't believe me? Why is it that we have spent so long here in America being told that the only history for us that makes any sense, that is worth any type of conversation, is our historical connections to Africa, rather than our essential Americanness? The American descendants of slavery was forged in America. That's right. The crucible forged a tribe made up of people mostly from the Senegambian region in Africa. But the moment that they were captured, sold, and shipped over here in the triangular trade, they were no longer Africans. They became the seed of America. When you talk about America, it is impossible to discuss America and not talk about us. It's impossible. It's impossible. When we were transported here on those slave ships, we went from being those disparate people to being the newest tribe on the planet Earth. We became the seeds of what is commonly referred to as the greatest nation on the planet. Even the people that hate us as Americans acknowledge our greatness. And I am pleased to tell you today, my esteemed brothers and sisters, my fellow tribesmen, that was due to the efforts, the travails of your ancestors and yourself. You hold your head up high. You have no call to ask anybody who's a jumped up new booty fresh off the banana boat Johnny come lately to your homeland for a damn thing. You demand your historical prerogatives. But see, here's the rub. Here's the rub. If you do what I am referring to, if you follow what Mark Black is saying, and you understand the deeper truth behind our inestimable and esteemed brother Dr. John Henry Clarke's statement that we have no friends, then all these matters become clear. When we talk about allies, fam, it's shocking to me as your brother and one who loves you just how much we empower those people we believe are aligned with us. Let me clarify that for you. When we as ADOS talk about people that we believe are on the team, right, that are allies, that have our back, we big them up more than we big up ourselves. We act as if our allies are not teammates at best and tools at worst. We act as if our allies are our saviors. That's right. When you talk to people, we've seen it historically in this country, how easy it is to mislead ADOS folk by simply appearing to be on the team, never actually having to show and prove, never actually having to put skin in the game, never actually having to be a John Brown, who I would argue has been and will probably be the only non-ADOS ally that we're aware of. Oh, we're told about many people who claim to be allies of ours. But who was willing to pick up the gun, and not only pick up the gun, but train his sons, 3 of which who was there at Harper's Ferry with him, to pick up the gun and say, here and no further. If these men who are the seeds of America cannot be free, none of us can be free. When's the last time you saw an ally like that? I'll wait. When's the last time These so-called good white folk that we always seem to be looking for. And again, this is no shade to any white ally, because if you're a white ally, you know I'm telling the truth. But when was the last time you saw a white ally who said, you know what? I'm in for a penny, in for a pound. Y'all can't get y'all's due. Let's give them hell, boys. When's the last time? I would argue that many of us, if not all of us, have never seen an ally like that. That was what our elder brother and an inestimable teacher, John Henry Clarke, was trying to tell us. For all that you sit here and spend your time looking for allies, you are failing to make the transactions needed to conduct the business of the people. On the plantations, some of our ancestors would meet an overseer who would give them an extra crust of bread, who was a little light when applying the lash. And our hearts, being 3 sizes too damn big, would look at this person and say, them's good white folk. Many of us hear the socialists and the communists talk about forget race, forget education, from each person according to his abilities, to each person according to his needs. And we think that that includes us. And we say, those white folks is woke. They get us. We have Asians and Latinos and other ethnic tribal groups here in America who are willing to come and have sex with us, drink with us, smoke with us, party with us, eat with us. And so we say to them, wow, man, y'all invited to the barbecue. Y'all good. Y'all good. Y'all good Latinos. Y'all good Asians. Y'all good Africans. Because we fail to understand the essential reality of what it means to be ADOS in America. But John Henry Clarke, in his erudite but folksy fashion, made it clear to us, fam, that at the end of the day, when it comes to ensuring what we need for us and us alone, ultimately there is no one that we can count on other than us. At 11:59 and 59 seconds, the only person or persons that you can expect to be standing at your side when the bullets, figuratively and possibly literally, start flying down range is another one of your tribe's people. Because everyone else in this country will back you only to the extent that it benefits them to back you. I grew up in a housing project, and in that housing project, we had white folks, we had black folks, we had Asian folks, we had Latino folks. By the way, shout out to my beloved sister Shar. Shout out to Black Man 903. Shout out to Easy Be Easy. I see y'all, fam. Welcome. Welcome to Sucka-Free Saturday. In my neighborhood, there was one thing that bound us all. We were poor. My best friend, when I was 5, 6 years old was a little Vietnamese boy named Sam, whose family was refugees from Vietnam because of the Vietnam War. Me and Sam climbed trees together. We threw rocks at other boys together. We ate together. We pissed together. Jacqueline, sister, I see you, by the way, fam. Welcome to the broadcast. But I lay you 10-to-1 odds. Now that Sam and his family have had their entree, right? Now that they've gone through their hazing, I bet you Sam and I today wouldn't even exchange words. Because Sam and his family got what they needed from me and mine. A place to stand in the greatest nation on planet Earth. Toolboxes in the house. I see you. I see you. And sorry I didn't greet you earlier. Welcome to the broadcast. They were able to get a place to stand under the sun in the greatest nation on the planet. To live in peace and harmony. My neighborhood was safe. When I was a boy, you can go outside and play 2, 3 in the morning during the summer. Nothing would happen to no kids out there. We were poor, but that was it. So Sam and his family got a chance to have a place to stand under the sun. They weren't gunned down in the city of Saigon or in the damn jungles of Vietnam. We made it safe for Sam and his family to be here. But now Sam has got his entree, his opportunity. If Sam and I were to connect today, he would not even remember who the fuck I was. But isn't it strange that even though I was 5 or 6 years old when I was hanging out with Sam, I remember who he is? There's the issue that I'm talking about. This desire of ours to ensure that we're tied to something greater than ourselves saved millions of lives on the plantation. By understanding our essential tie through the crucible, the hells of the killing fields of the South, through the breeding plantations, through the trade of our flesh, we were able to make and keep and maintain connections so strong that the first thing we did upon emancipation was we grabbed a bundle bag and beat feet, looking to recreate the ties that were made on the plantations. We went to go find our mothers who were sold, our brothers who were sold, our sisters who were sold, our children who were sold. And we recreated the same families that we thought we had lost forever. That's us. The Jiminy Cricket of America. The moral fucking conscience of America. I used to think, fam, that we as ADOS were too good for America. But now that I understand truly what ADOS means to America, I think that the average so-called American is not good enough to be American with us. That's right. I said it. We ain't the oddballs. To have civility, dignity, respect, love, care, and concern for our fellow citizen. That's what makes America great. Is it not? We are the only ones who act like that. Everybody else come here and they treat America like a bank. They come in, they make a few deposits, And as soon as they build up their credit, they want loans. And I'm not talking about, I understand, I'm using an analogy, fam, so I need y'all to follow me. I can't go back to bring you along with. Understand the analogy. They come here to America. They make a little bit of a deposit. And then the first thing they do once they got a little bit of a credit established is they want to take a chunk out. But where do you think the capital base that they're looking to borrow from comes from? The social order, the respect for the rule of law, the uplifting of the franchise, and all of those other civic duties that we as ADOS demand that everybody else in America follows. We're the only ones that be following it. The Constitution, according to George Walker, Shrub W, it's just a goddamn piece of paper. And that is how every other non-ADOS American sees America. For them, America is not relationship. All America is a series of business transactions. And in business transactions, fam, anybody who is a businessman or a business person will tell you that the worst damn thing you can do is put your feelings in the transaction. In this pressing for our justice claim, fam, your feelings can't be involved in this. Don't get me wrong, fam. I'm not saying don't feel strongly. We are a passionate people. Y'all know me. I'll always be on fire for us. That's not what I'm referring to. What I'm referring to is the give and take, the back and forth with all of these other so-called alleged Americans. Everybody who is not ADOS has to establish their bona fides with you. You do not have to demand that they establish, or that they don't have the right to demand that you establish anything with them. They are alleged Americans until proven otherwise. Until you've seen their credentials, until you've pulled their rap sheets, until you've checked IDs and you see just where they stand and what America truly is, and understand one simple fact, that ADOS, the American descendants of slavery, come first. Other than the natives, the Aboriginals, who many of them died off due to disease and warfare, other than the Aboriginals, the only other group here in America that has any claim, any right to demand anything from America is us. Matter of fact, fam, we have the right to demand shit from some of the natives. Because many of us descend from enslaved ancestors who were enslaved by those motherfucking Indians. Everybody else here are alleged to be American. You're the only one whose Americanness is stamped in stone. You don't ask any of them for any damn thing. They have to validate with you. They got to come check in with the big homie of America. Nobody gets a place to stand underneath the American sun unless we give our imprimatur. That's a different mind state, fam. I need you to understand that. John Henry Clarke was trying to teach us that that's a different mindset. That when you understand that you don't have no friends, he was telling you that everybody other than you treats America like its own personal fucking bank to make deposits and withdrawals out of. But nobody's maintaining the infrastructure. Nobody's holding to the spirit of America. That is you. Richard says, what are the requirements to be considered an actual American versus an alleged American? I'll tell you. What's the requirement? The requirement is simple. Where do you stand on remediation, restoration, and the repair of the American descendants of slavery? Period. Period. If we don't come first, they ain't American. Because any real American would understand just how America came to be. Who were the seeds that were planted in the American soil that gave birth to the nation known as America? Part of becoming a citizen of this country, or to become naturalized in this country, there's a test that you have to take, where they ask you stuff about the American history and all this and that and the third. But family, truth be told, there is really only one question that anybody who wants to come here has to answer. And they have to answer either to the affirmative, or they become subject to fire, shade, and smoke. And that is, where do you stand on the remediation, the restoration, and the repair of the American descendants of slavery? Full stop. Because every one of these people have come here and taken up the agreement, right? They have joined on in the cause of ensuring that the true aristocracy of America is never recognized. It's as simple as that. They all are in cahoots. They're all in agreement with it. All of them. It don't matter if they came from napalm. It doesn't matter if they came from, ovens and Zyklon B. It don't matter if they came from sarin gas attacks in Halabja. It don't matter if they came from blood diamonds. It don't matter if they came from any of that. They all come here and sign on the dotted line in agreement with the alleged American contract. That America is the world's bank. But everybody just put their little piece in and take a big chunk out if they come up, if they're lucky. But never, ever, ever acknowledge the truth of the matter. Richard says, so military service doesn't count. Why in the hell would I say such a thing, Richard? And I'm a veteran myself. But no, in this particular matter, military service doesn't count. I served in the military, Richard. 31 uniform, camo, hood, right? Did boot at Fort Jackson on Tank Hill. Did AIT at Fort Gordon, Georgia, home of the Signal Corps, stationed at Fort Lewis, Washington State. 129th SIG Battalion. Look me up. Do you know how many motherfucking skinheads and neo-Nazis and so-called right-wing racist motherfuckers that was in my unit? I'm not even talking about that was in the military. I'm talking about was in my unit. I'm sleeping in the barracks next to a motherfucker who's got the goddamn Confederate battle flag hanging over his bunk. Simply because you served in the military don't mean that you're a patriot, because the real patriots of America are about paying this debt. That is what determines your patriotism. It is about giving back, putting in the right position the American descendants of slavery. Full stop. Full stop. Full stop. I've had generations of my family serve in the military. My uncle lost his legs in Vietnam. I had another uncle who lost his motherfucking mind in the military. I've had people in the Navy. I served. If my son came to me today and told me that when he grows up he wants to be a soldier, I would encourage it. But see, the difference between me, my ancestors, and them is I knew what the fuck I was fighting for. I didn't join the army so I could go to college and get a paycheck. I could have got easier paychecks. They never paid for my school. When I got out of the army, because I was chaptered out, honorable discharge, by the way, fam. I show you my DD-214, all right? Honorable discharge. But when I was chaptered out, you know what the military gave me? $123 in a SEA. So I sure in the hell didn't sign up to the military to get a come up. Ever since I was a boy, I believed in America. You know how you have posters on your wall, fam, of your favorite artists, right? Your favorite singers, stars and so on and so forth. You know what I had on my wall in my room as a teenage boy? I had a goddamn 7-foot long by 4-foot wide picture of the SR-71 Blackbird because I wanted to be a fighter pilot and an astronaut. Every year I would order books from the Air Force Academy telling me about the school. I wanted to be a soldier. I wanted to be an airman. I wanted to be a fighter. Turns out I am a fighter for the true Americans. Helping y'all to deal with the alleged Americans that you find yourself surrounded with. Fam, we have no friends. Everybody has to step onto the carpet and be called to account. You don't get to claim Americanness without coming through us first. Bernard Sanders might end up ultimately becoming the president one day. I doubt it, but it may happen. But even if he becomes president, he still isn't as American as we give him the imprimatur to be. Bernard Sanders is new booty. He just got here. Meanwhile, we as ADOS, we in the home of the already being here. We in the home of the being here. You got to come through us, not the other way around, fam. We don't have no friends. What we have are temporary connections made to our collective and individual benefit, or we don't have them. Our love for ourselves, our country, our fellow countrymen, and so on and so forth has been used as a weapon against us. But remember, fam, love is not allowance. You love your children, but you don't hesitate to correct them when they're out of pocket. You can love America. Being ADOS ain't got nothing to do with hating nobody. It cracks me up how people come to me and expect me to hate white folk. For what? The vast majority of white folk don't give a fuck about me, and I don't give a fuck about them. So we're neutral. We're equal. Why hate them? This ain't never been about hate. This has been about telling the truth. And the truth is that there is no America without me and mine. There is nothing for any of you. Listen to me, my fellow Americans. There is nothing for any of you without me, without my ancestors. Chad hit it on the barrelhead. We have no permanent enemies, no permanent friends, only permanent interests. The only people that we need to be ultimately concerned with is our own tribe, because everyone else here in America operates the same way. If there is no transaction, fam, there is no alliance. I believe in the words of our beloved sister, Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately? People love to come and talk to us about how they marched with this person and how they was, at this rally and so on and so forth, right? That's all fine and dandy. But what did you put in the game? What scheme did you truly put in the game? Shit is so bad that you got D-Ray McKesson ass calling himself trying to take down Sean King, and they both frauds. And they both frauds. By the way, shout out to Universal Mike. I see you, fam. Welcome to the broadcast. Family, as the angry black sheep, we have to understand that there's only one herd that matters, our herd. And that doesn't mean that we're looking to genocide every other herd, right? That doesn't mean that we got to be on some damn if the world burns they herd up shit. No, if we got it and we feel like we can help, we can help. I'm not telling you as ADOS to not have a heart, because that would be impossible. You are the only people in America with hearts, at least when it comes to anybody other than yourselves. So I'm not going to ask you to do something you find it fucking impossible. You cannot, fam, you can never not connect with people who get fucked over, done up, mistreated, maltreated, misused, abused, screwed over, humped. Right? You can't do it. I can sit here and say, y'all stupid. Stop worrying about the rest of these. I might as well be talking on my ass. Because you're not going to do that, fam. So I accept us being who we are. The one thing that I will tell us as your brother and one who loves you is this. Everybody in this country who claims to be an American can only have their Americanness validated by you. I want you to carry, if you carry nothing else, fam, from this broadcast today, I need you to carry this. If anybody wants to claim the mantle of ally, they have to establish that with you. You don't go looking for them. You have millions of your fellow tribes people out here who need you. Go to them, run to them, cleave to them, work for them, live for them, eat for them, breathe for them, bleed for them, die for them. Because God knows I will. For any one of you, if you share my lineage and my heritage, damn it, my life is yours. Everybody else, they got to pony up. They got to come and make their obeisance. They have to bend the knee and acknowledge the reality of the circumstance. And the reality of the circumstance is I'm not the nigger. I am the descendant of those who were dethroned from their rightful place as the real owners of this nation, the seeds of America. No more do we bend the knee to anybody. ADOS, do you understand me? Do you understand me? We don't look for allies. That's done. In 2019 and moving forward, stop looking for allies. Everybody who wants to be down, they got to establish that. They have to show their bona fides. And you, as the rightful heir to America, need to have the damn guts, the mental wherewithal to do your duty, your due diligence, and check their credentials. One of the most beautiful things that I heard our sister Yvette tell us was that the very first question in our minds when we have any interaction with anybody, before we talk politics, before we talk business, before we talk anything, the very first question we need to have in our minds is, who you? Because the answer to that question dictates the tenor of every interaction from that point moving forward. If you had asked the question, who you, Sean King would not even be an issue. He would not even be on the radar. This alleged black man. Come on, fam. Look, I'm not going to say anything ill that might get my channel shut down because this fool loves to sue people and shit. But we'll say this. Who you going to believe? Him or your lying eyes? I'm just saying. Allegedly, a black man. You did your due diligence. People like him would not even be a factor. People like D-Ray McKesson would not be a factor. People like Talib Kweli would not even be able to claim to be woke. It would be non-factors. See, in this transaction, there are two parties. There is the supplicants, right? And then there is, the people who are giving out the largesse, right? The supplicants come to us and they say, we down with y'all. We support y'all's aims, y'all's efforts, y'all's goals. We back your play 100%. We love black people. Now you, as the dispenser of Americanness, as the living evidence of the greatest crime committed against humanity ever, your responsibility, your part in this transaction is to do your due diligence and ask the very simple question, who you? Why should we be listening to you? Why should we give you anything? Why should we be concerned about what you think? Why should we care what you feel about our justice claim? Why should we care what your political stance is? Why should we care about any of that? The answer to who you makes all other things so absolutely clear, fam. It makes it so clear. Because if they're not ADOS, then everything comes down to what the fuck do they bring to the table? Oh, really? You want to be down? Well, it just so happens that we, the American descendants of slavery, need X, Y, and Z. What you got in on it? Oh, you signed HR 40 and that's it? Sorry, I can't help you. You want to be down? You on the team, right? You feeling this, right? Okay, I hear you. Cool. All right. So, this is what we need right here. This is what we on. What you putting in on that? Oh, you just gonna, talk and ask for donations? Nah, I'm cool. We good. We don't need no more of them. We got other people to support. We got our own people to support. We got our own black media, our own ADOS advocates and proponents. Tanzania said, thank you for your service to the culture, brother. Old soldiers never die. You damn right, sister. I appreciate the love. Thank you so much for your support. Fam, how many times do I have to say it? How many times do I have to say it that ADOS has come to make your way smooth finally? Finally! Because your advocacy for yourself, your families, your community, and ultimately your tribe becomes very, very simple. Do you support the remediation, the restoration, and the repair of the American descendants of slaves up to and including but not limited to cash payments as reparations? Full stop. And if so, what you putting in on that? That's it. That's that family. That's so it. And that's not just in the political sphere. That's everywhere. That's everywhere. That's in your relationships with your friends, your so-called friends, and your partners and girlfriends and shit. Right? That's in your connections and your ties at the workplace. That's in your churches, your mosques, your synagogues. That's everywhere. ADOS has finally come to us to provide us with the lenses and the language to be able to truly describe a worldview that for ADOS simply makes sense. Who are you? That has to be the very first question. You see somebody like Eddie Glaude get up there on Fox News or on MSNBC, and he makes a statement that sounds good to you. Okay, cool. Eddie Glaude, who you? Michael Eric Dyson, who you? Van Jones, who you? Roland Martin, who you? Angela Rye, who you? Joy Ann Reid or Lomena, who you? Because the answer to that question dictates our interaction. Because if you're not a member of the tribe, I don't have to do shit for you. I don't owe you a damn thing. If you want to be down with me and mine, if you want to be around me and mine in peace, in safety, in calm, in civility, then you got to pay the toll to the troll. Membership costs because that's how membership provides its privileges. The best part about it though, fam, is that your ancestors already paid the cost of admission for you. Your tribal affiliation is assured. Turn to your left. Turn to your right. Because right there is your brother and sister. Them is your tribes people. You don't have to worry about shit. You good. That's the attitude we need to be having with each other. I see another ADOS. We good. Everybody else got to pony up. They got to pay their toll to the troll. They got to put in. You know that old saying, fam, freedom isn't free. You want to come to America and be free, you got to be free to pay this debt. You want to come to America and to be in the land of opportunity, then you need to make sure that opportunities return to the most American of Americans. You can't agree to that. We can't agree to shit for you. I don't care who you are. So, fam, call them. Call them. All of those people who claim to be activists for you, call them. Call them and put their ass on the carpet. Shine the light of disclosure, of due diligence right on their asses and ask the hard but easy questions. Who you? What you want from us? What can you do for us? Because those answers dictate everything that you do from that point forward. For far too long, ADOS, we have been the mules of America. First, literally. Now, figuratively. Dave Chappelle said something in his last special. It said that black people gonna have to save America again. And you know what? He's right. We're going to have to save America again. But see, here's the rub. This time, when we save America, we present an invoice, not a receipt. We present an invoice for services rendered. And America going to have to pay that invoice before we save a damn thing. Don't come to us. Don't come to black women talking about black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party. No, damn all that. Because when we look at who you, You'll go to the United Nations and die on a Palestinian hill, but won't say shit about the American descendants of slavery, even though the United Nations acknowledges that we live in the equivalent of third world conditions in a first world nation, that our ancestors are the seeds that built. Even though the UN itself acknowledges that America owes a debt to your people, what do? You go to the goddamn UN General Assembly, stand up there on the rostrum, and rather than have full-throated, full-bore, unabashed advocacy for the American descendants of slavery, you start talking about the goddamned Palestinians? Please. You're canceled. Nola Boy in the house. Long time no see, fam. Welcome. That's right, James. How you gonna go? Listen, fam, give Mark Black the rostrum in the General Assembly of the UN. Do you understand? Give it to me. And see what America's gonna have to do tomorrow once I'm done talking. Give it to me. Let me give you a few hints on what I'll be speaking on. It won't be about motherfucking women's rights. It won't be about female genital mutilation. It won't be about the goddamn Palestinians. I'm not going to get in front of a international audience of movers and shakers without my tribe's name on my lips, without my ancestors' name on my lips. It's not going to happen, because the moment that happens, I'm done. That fool's canceled. But see, fam, who are you? What's your angle? These are questions that if you grew up in the hood, should be second nature. When you grow up in the hood, you expect people to try to bop you. You don't step out of your house without putting on your motherfucking armor and your combat clothes. Right? Who you? Exactly. August is naming them all. Who you, NAACP? Who you, Urban League? Who you, Black Lives Matter? Who are you? But see, fam, the answer to those questions determine the tenor of the interaction, and you can't be led around by your nose by rhetoric. You have to see the receipts. You need to check the credentials. You gotta check them IDs. Because what we've had going on so far, fam, as far as advocacy goes for our people, is a bunch of motherfuckers walking around with fake IDs talking about they name McLovin, and we ain't looked at a damn thing. They just sound good. Right? What you claim? You with ADOS or what? You with the restoration, the remediation, restoration, and repair of us? Or no? Because if not, you can either get right or get left. If you're not bringing something to the table, you don't get to fucking eat no more. Dr. John Henrik Clarke told us that unless everybody else is willing to pay the blood price to have the prerogatives of being American, they don't get the claim to be American. Period. No more conversation, fam. Hey, Alma, welcome to the broadcast. Fam, this advocacy is so simple. If they're not here to put in on the remediation, the restoration, and repair of the American descendants of slavery so that America can move forward, because we are America. See, y'all got it all fucked up, those of you who thinking that we begging the white man for a check. No, not at all. Fixing the American descendants of slavery is fixing America, because we, at its core, at its most essential, are America. There is no healing for America. There is no We make America great again. There is no MAGA without us. Period. Period. You want to make America great again? Make the American descendants of slavery great. And you will automatically make America great. Why? Because we are America. We are the most American of Americans. You fix us, you fix the nation. All these issues that we have about climate change and global warming and lack of health care, mental health care issues and school shootings and all this other stuff that all of these so-called soft racists feel so strongly about. And they don't understand that all of them have one fix: us. You fix us and sit back and watch what we do. Because we built this motherfucker, fam. We know where the bodies are buried. We know America's skeletons. Who can address the plague of white supremacy better than we can? Who knows it better than us? We have seen and experienced and lived through and made generation and generation after generation of people survive through the worst of what America has to offer. Who else can claim that? None of them. None of them. I don't give a fuck where they come from or what they think they went through. None of them went through what we went through here. None of them. Period. So tell me again, fam, who gets to come to America and tell you a damn thing? Whose opinion means anything when it comes to what's best and what's right for America more than yours? Who? Everybody come. All of you come to the carpet and answer to ADOS. We don't answer to you. Nah, brother, I'm not going to be able to make it to the conference this year. I'm dedicated to making it next year, but with the move and other financial stuff I had go on, just simply couldn't call it. Everybody. Come one, come all, fam. That's your mentality moving forward. You don't have to take my word for it. No, none other than the inestimable, the esteemed, the respected ancestor, Dr. John Henrik Clarke, said, we ain't got no friends, fam. No permanent allies, no permanent enemies, just permanent interests. And can't nobody speak about America unless they speaking about us. None of them. I don't give a fuck if they Democrat or Republican. I don't give a fuck if they gay or straight. I don't give a fuck if they white, black, Asian, Jew, Latino. I don't give a fuck about none of it. I don't give a fuck if they female or male, feminist or non-feminist, conservative or progressive, socialist or capitalist. I don't care. If they're talking about America, but they're not talking about us, then they're not talking about America. You can feel free to disregard every goddamn thing that they're talking about. And all you do is continue to assert your rightful prerogatives as the seeds of America. That's it. You know what time it is, fam? 425-296-1980. What do you think about what your brother had to say today? Am I cracked? Am I the one that's out of my head with the acknowledgement of the fact that you are America, that you are the most American of Americans? If anybody has the right to the title, it's you, and everybody else has to come and get their imprimatur, their mark from you. You have to sign off on their Americanness. They don't get to talk about America and they're not talking about you. How the hell does that work? That's like coming into my house talking about shit that's in my house, but you ain't talking to me. What part of the game is that? What part of the game is that? 425-296-1980. Afro Troop said ADOS should shelter our Bahamian cousins. I got nothing against the Bahamian folk. They need help. Help them. Just remember, keep the invoice. Because I can guarantee you that gratitude is a shitty emotion. And after they get comfortable again, after they, get they position uplifted and shit, remember how they'll try to come at us. I'm not against helping anybody who need help, who really need help. But I also don't pretend that at the end of the day they're going to be grateful and say, oh, look what the American descendants of slavery did for us, their Bahamian brothers and sisters. We need to help them out. Don't pretend that that's going to be the case. Everybody needs to come before ADOS. And they need to establish their bona fides to their Americanness. You got a whole lot of folk out here, especially during this political season, that are claiming to be speaking on behalf of America, but strangely enough, your name never seems to come up in their mouth. Guess what that means? That means they ain't speaking about America. I don't know who they think they talking about or who they talking to, but they not talking about me, and they ain't talking to me. I don't hear ADOS come out of their mouth. We ain't got shit else to talk about. It's simple as that. These wannabe ersatz faux Americans who will spout the rhetoric of America but won't honor the spirit. Family, you know why they don't want us to fight? Why they don't want us to be ADOS? Why they don't want us to understand our heritage, our real heritage, our lineage, our history in America? I'm going to tell you something. Black dollars hit it right on the barrel head. The reason why they are dead set against ADOS is one reason only. Because when ADOS fight, we win. Every single time. Every single time. Yeah, I'm with you, Charles. They need to look to the UK. God save the Queen and all of that. I know, the UK dealing with Brexit and shit, but, this is another thing they got to deal with. They're in the Commonwealth. Why they need to be asking me for help? I'm serious. They need to be going and hit up the Queen. Make a humble address before Parliament. Oh, wait, Parliament's prorogued right now. Sorry, I follow politics all over the world. You feel me? Double C's right. You know what, fam? While I wait on the call to come in, let me talk to you about something else that I've been cogitating on lately. As y'all know, I was a victim of a lot of abuse when I was a boy, right? Physical, emotional, mental, sexual abuse. Don't feel bad for me, fam. I done been through a lot of motherfucking therapy to help me out, right? So I'm straight. Now, one of the things that I learned in therapy that I think is apropos to my fellow tribes people is this. There's a difference between helping and propping up. See, fam, I need you to understand the difference. Because what we've been doing for 400 years is propping up a bunch of so-called Americans. We've been propping them up. At first, we were propping them up under the threat of gunpoint and the lash, right? But then they got in our heads as a part of our acculturation, and we've been propping them up via our acculturation. But there's a difference between helping somebody and propping them up. When you help me, right, let me describe for you what that process should look like. I'm struggling, right? So when you come and see me, you see me making an effort, but my efforts are to no avail, right? I'm struggling. You then add your efforts to my efforts, and together our collective efforts are able to get me up out of the situation in which I find myself. That, family, is what helping looks like. Now, let me describe for you what ADOS has been doing for America for the last 400 years. America has been the motherfucker laying on the floor, screaming that they can't get up. And ADOS has gone over there and fighting gravity and the strength and or weakness of their own muscles, been working to pull them up off the floor with no effort on the behalf of the person lying on the floor. That's not helping. Because when you finally get that person up off the floor, you then have to hold them up. You have to prop them up, fam. You will always know the difference between helping and propping up. This isn't just for ADOS life, right? This isn't just about politics, economics. This is personal. You will always know, fam, when you find yourself in a position of propping up somebody rather than helping them, when you take a look at the situation and you see that all of the effort being made to ameliorate the situation is you. That's not helping. That is propping up. Support is when you come and add your efforts to already existing efforts. Help is when you add your efforts to already existing efforts. Let's talk about the Bahamas. Grand Bahamas, Bamako, and all the rest of them, all the islands of the Bahamas and shit, they know they live in a hurricane zone. I study all different types of stuff, including architecture. I found a technology that's cheap and works a treat in areas that are prone to earthquakes, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, monolithic concrete dome homes. So tell me this, fam. Bahamians have been a free nation for quite some time. They had their own economy, their own shit, their own say. They've been able to have their own governments, their own everything. Much more than we, as the American descendants of slavery, have had. Why haven't they researched how they could hurricane-proof their island? How they could defend against storm surges and the strong winds generated by a hurricane? Again, I'm down to help them, but where are their efforts to protect their own damn selves? See, fam, this is what I want you to understand. Colin Spencer said it, if you throwing rocks, I'm throwing rocks. If we standing here fighting for the remediation, the restoration, and the repair of our lineage, our people, our tribe, if an ally is not doing the exact same thing, the exact same way, then they're not an ally, now are they? It's simple as that, fam. This isn't rocket science. We're making this whole damn thing way too difficult. It's because we still labor under the apprehension that we're the outsiders. No, we're not the outsiders. Sorry. I mean, yes, America sees us as the outcasts, as the downtrodden, as the ones they get to stand on. Right? But like my beloved mother told me, a monkey can't climb up on your back unless you bend over and let him. In other words, how long do you insist on carrying America, propping America up? America's not putting in any effort for your Americanness. And you are the most American of Americans. So why you even still have an ear for them when they come to you during politics season, or when they come to you talking about the newfangled financial instrument that's supposed to get you your come up without actually having to fix race? to fix whiteness, to kill whiteness. Why do you even have an ear for that shit? Four two five 296 1980, fam. I don't get a call in the next 5 minutes. I'm gonna wrap it up and let y'all enjoy y'all's weekend. But yeah, the Bahamas done had billions of dollars and people coming over there and fucking and eating and sleeping and drinking and so on and so forth. Right? They couldn't take that money and somehow find a way to be able to protect the islands from hurricanes. The technology exists, fam. I'm not bullshitting you. I'm not bullshitting you. Look, it's simple mathematics and geometry. A round shape is able to disperse a greater amount of forces over its total surface area than any other shape. So you take a dome made of reinforced concrete, right? And you can insulate concrete, right? So when you do the pour, you can put insulation within the concrete, right? Which will mean that if you live in a warm environment, it'll keep you cool. And if you live in a cool environment, it'll keep you warm. It's a beautiful dome shape, right? You can treat the concrete and that shit will last 200 years and it's cheap to build. You can have these buildings multi-story domes all over the motherfucking island. So when hurricane whatever shows up, y'all just batten down the hatches, turn on the motherfucking reggaeton and wait it out. But they want me to help? I just helped you. Take what I just told you to your government, Bahamians, and ask them why isn't there a push to change the law to allow architecture for monolithic concrete dome homes. You want my help? Help your damn self first. I grew up in Tornado Alley. And if you think I ever was going to build a house that the first tornado came through was going to blow it down, you got another thing coming. I've been researching architecture ever since I went through my first tornado. You can't fight Mother Nature, but you can sure as hell work with her ass. Like I said, fam, I feel for the people in the Bahamas. I really do. But when they gonna help themselves? What? Wait a minute. Wasn't the Bahamas or one of them beefing with Haitians, saying that Haitians can't enter in the country? I don't know if that was the Bahamas or not. Miss Denny said it wasn't the Bahamas. Who was it? Was it? I know the Dominicans don't fuck with the Haitians.
Haitians, maybe.
Jamaicans or Trinidadians. It was one of those islands there in the Caribbean that was like, fuck the Haitians. Haitians struggling like a motherfucker. They won't even take them in. But they want my help. Caller for 413. It's your man Mark Black. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what's on your mind?
You know who this is. This is Double C.
That's right, my man. Holla at me, Cease. What's good, fam?
As I said in the comment section, they want us to advocate for other people, other races, and we're being too selfish. And I noticed that's been more prominent since ADOS has become more mainstream. And the truth of the matter is, we've always advocated for other people.
Yep.
Like, we're insiders. We built this house, right?
That's right.
But we've allowed people to come in and tell us how to move our furniture and how to do stuff.
Yep.
So they treat us like outsiders because they have permission to.
Like I said, how you gonna tell me how to do my shit? I'm American. I'm as American as it gets. You don't get to tell me nothing about how to do America.
Yeah. And when I had this conversation with somebody at work last night, and I had to tell him, I'm like, you're an outsider. You don't know nothing about America. It's your first time being here. And mind you, you know where I work at. You know my deal with the homeless shelter. Mm-hmm. A lot of them come in. This dude was Caribbean, West Indies. And even though I'm working, he's going to tell me how I should live, even though you're homeless. and he's trying to convince me that he's not really homeless. He's not on the dole like everybody else. He's just in a situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you absolutely right. See.
So, and those type of conversations get tiring.
Yeah.
Tariq Nasheed did a video, and I think I mentioned, in August Dream mentioned us. There's a Mexican woman asking what are black people gonna do for Mexican people, and I'm like, well, black people didn't turn Mexico into California, but that's got nothing to do with us. We're being too selfish.
Facts.
But yet, you ride on the coattails of the civil rights. As
Mm-hmm.
soon as you guys get in trouble, you want to mention Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and everything and everybody else.
Yep. Yep.
And I was pitch 8, Mark. We're both Gen Xers.
Yep.
Um, I'm assuming that we studied the same history books and stuff. All the pictures and videos we saw of all those people getting hosed down by dogs and chased out of restaurants for sit-ins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong now. I don't recall seeing any other people of color there but black folks getting hosed down.
Yeah, the show wasn't. I don't recall seeing no
Um,
Latinos there. I didn't see no Native Americans standing with us like we stood with them at Standing Rock. When the
hey,
dogs were getting sicked on us and the water hoses and the beat downs by the motherfucking cops, you couldn't find them. But then they come
hey,
over here and get a come up off of affirmative action, and now the Asians want to argue that it's time to end affirmative action. You got me fucked up. We haven't even had affirmative action yet, because affirmative action is for us, not for Asians, not for Latinos, not for women, not for gay white dudes, for us. Until it
and
addresses us, we ain't ending shit. And that's how ADOS has
facts.
got to be, fam. We don't allow no one anymore to dictate the tenor of the American conversation. We are the topic of every conversation, or people don't get to fucking speak. You don't
I'm
get
gonna
to
say this.
speak. See, you was talking about your father with me one time, right? And you told me you love your father, but your father was a hard man, right? When your father
Yeah.
was talking, what'd you do? When he was talking or expounding on something or talking about something, what was your role in that?
Um, Shut what he called the hell up
Right?
and listen.
Shut the hell up and listen, right? That's right. Why?
Not
Because that's daddy,
he.
right? Daddy's the
That's daddy. He
boss.
had authority.
Exactly. He calls the shots.
Yeah.
ADOS, the American descendants of slavery in America, we call the shots. There is nothing that happens in America, about America, for America, to America, with America that cannot and does not and should not come through us first. And when we talking, everybody else has to shut the fuck up and listen, or nobody gets to speak. When stuff is being divvied up and doled out, if ours ain't set up out front at first, nobody gets a cut. This is the problem that they have with ADOS, because ADOS is teaching us that at the end of the day, we are America. If they're not talking about us, they cannot be talking about America, fam. Period. It don't matter what they're saying. It don't matter if they talking about universal health care. It don't matter if they talking about Green New Deals. It don't matter if they talking about climate change. It don't matter none of that shit. If they're not mentioning us first and foremost from jump, I'm not talking about after we done been in their face and embarrassing the shit out of them like we have during this political season with the Democrats, right? I'm talking about
Oh God.
unprompted, unscripted, our name in their mouth. If they haven't been doing that, we ain't having no conversation. It's the only reason why I still even talk about Marianne Williamson. Because Marianne Williamson, unprompted, no demands from us, we didn't even know who she was talking about the remediation, the restoration, and the repair of the American descendants of slavery. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. If you don't have our name in your mouth, fam, what you talking about? Especially if you're talking about America. Go ahead, see.
Well, like I said, and here's the thing: we got to have standards, and not only have standards, but stand by them and enforce them by any means necessary.
Facts.
You know, problem is we let them out talk us because we have this thing of morality. Oh, let them go first and this and that, and everything be okay. No, 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 no. It's like you go to a supermarket, you see everybody throwing food in the supermarket. They throw salami and bologna and everything else and duck, and they leave me and they locking you out. They let everybody else in but you. But you built that supermarket. You supplied that supermarket.
Yep.
You went out and got everything that they needed. But you can't eat. Why? Because they gotta go first. Because it's the right thing to do.
Shit.
I say bullshit.
Not no more. Not us. ADOS go first or nobody go. When the lunch line open, the checks get cut, the pie get divvied from the jump. We at front in our rightful place. Or nobody gets a cut.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to jump off of here, let somebody else get a turn. But I'm going to tell you what my grandma told me. Whoever paid for it, bought it, hunted, go first.
Facts.
Know why? They deserve it. Everybody else?
If you don't take care of the hunter, who gonna hunt?
Yep, because my grandmother from Mississippi had a smokehouse. Okay? She had her own garden. The neighbor had a smokehouse also. They used to barter.
Yep.
Not with money, but, I'll give you a bushel of collard greens and you give me, a half a slab of whatever, My grandma used to tell me about all these things because she's part of the greater generation. As they said, the hunters were the one, the farmers were the one that ate first.
Yep.
Because without them, everybody else was dead in the water.
Exactly. And it's time that ADOS eat before everybody else, because without us, America dead in the water, fam. I couldn't have said it any better myself, fam. Thank you for that.
No problem.
Right.
Brother Mark.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad to see you back doing your thing, man. I'm always going to be continuous support, man, but I'm going to jump off here and get ready for work.
Yes, sir. Hey, I appreciate, as always, your call, fam. You always welcome, and thank you so much for your love and support, fam.
No problem, man. Have a good one.
You too, brother. Peace. He kept it a full buck, fam. You got to feed the workers first. You got to feed the hunters first. America has been propped up by the American descendants of slavery, but yet we the last in line to eat. But y'all think that they get to talk about justice. What justice look like for us? Please. Fuck we look like. How you gonna sit here and you been eating at the trough of America since your ass showed up on the shores of this bitch and got the nerve to tell us when and where we can't eat? Yeah, I'm talking to you, Bernard Sanders. Fuck you. You just got here, but you got the nerve to be in your fees because we talking about we want to eat in the country that we built. We want to eat from the grocery store we built. We want a hand on the political lever of a country we built. You got a lot of fucking gumption. Fam, I'm telling you, if you are ADOS and you are not filled every day with a righteous outrage and anger from the voice of your ancestors speaking in your head, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You're not here begging nobody for shit. You're presenting the invoice for services rendered. And if this nation wants to continue to operate in any effective fashion, it's got to pony up. ADOS need to be on some Debo shit and run up on America talking about what you got on my 40, homie. We need to be rifling their pockets. I look forward to the day when America be like, yeah, we got $200. And be like, yeah, I got $200. That's why I'm serious, fam. It's a different mind state As ADOS, we no longer give a fuck about so-called allies. Sean King and his ilk can do whatever the fuck they want to do. It matters none to us. Van Jones can sit there and plead and beg for us to vote for his beloved Democrats all the hell he likes. It don't have shit to do with us. Because the Democrats got the same answer for me as I got for them. They ain't trying to put in nothing on me and mine, so I'm not trying to put nothing on them and theirs. Sorry I got to get Southern on y'all for a minute, but I need to make y'all feel me. If you ain't putting in on ADOS, we ain't putting in on you. It's simple as that. We are America. America's sovereignty, America's ideals, America's virtues, America's greatness stems from the blood of the American descendants of slavery, full stop. And anybody who does not acknowledge that, who demands that we somehow come and bend the knee to them rather than them coming to bend the knee in gratitude, in gratefulness, in respect of our rightful position as the most American of Americans, fuck them. As we say in the South, fuck them and feed them beans. As they say in the North, fuck them if they can't take a joke. Black Man 903, fam, what it do?
Hey, no, that was funny. Run up on him like Debo.
Run up on him like Debo, fam. Yeah, we got $200. I got $200.
Two little points. Two points. It's no different than when they re-gentrify your neighborhoods. It's kind of like that. You have people who come in your neighborhood who've never been there before, but they're going to try to tell you how to run your neighborhood now.
Yep.
You have people, this is really weird for me too, because you know I live in Texas, but people from California come here, they leave out of California because they can't afford California, and they come move to Texas, and with all the freedoms that Texas has, and then they want to try to restrict it. Well, we don't do that in California. Well, you're not in California.
Yeah, your ass ain't in California. You like how they do it in California. Here's an idea. Take your ass back there.
Right, exactly. So it's a whole different kind of setup here. And people, like I say again, I love the word that soft racist. I love it. Because when they get here, they really think they're being this great progressive person, but in turn, you're really just a soft racist, and you can't even see it.
Yep.
Because you believe in a standard of what California was doing, but you can't pull that here. We don't play that here.
Yep. Them soft racists.
And just like,
woo, boy, they a trip.
Yeah, and Beto O'Rourke proved it the other night. He proved that in a way that he is, because the way he sat there and made his statement of, you're telling me how racist America is and how bad America is, but you know what? We're going to take your guns. It all falls back in the same routine. I don't mean to always talk about guns, but I'm so in tune to what they're sitting there saying. You tell me how bad Trump is. You tell me how bad these racists are. You tell me about Charlottesville and the whole nine. But the first thing you sit there and come and do is want to take away my protections.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You telling us that there's all these Clive and Bundys out there taking over federal lands and shit by gunpoint, this, that, and the third. And the first thing you tell me is I'm supposed to disarm myself. You got me fucked up.
Right. And I think going back to your earlier points, man, you had so much you were sitting there saying when you're saying the who is you, and Ms. Green was saying about, who are you, CBC and Congressional Black Caucus. We got to start calling them out and let them know that I can't wait till the conference comes. I cannot wait.
You, fam.
I
hear
look so
you.
forward to it.
I hear you.
I really want to understand where they're going to be at after the conference is over. I really want to understand what are you going to be saying after the conference is over. I want to know who's going to go to the conference out of those groups.
Yep.
Who knows about the conference out of those groups? Who's going to show up? Who's willing to show their face and say, we messed up. We messed up. We didn't know.
Oh, they gonna know in 2020. They gonna know in 2020, in 2022, in 2024, in 2026. They gonna know until they cut the check. They gonna know.
I'm serious. I'm damn near 50. I'm 49, right? So I'm almost 50 years old. But never in my lifetime, especially since my voting age, I have never seen anything like this. Your parents always talked about how it was in the civil rights era and all that kind of stuff, but I've never seen anything like this, and I'm so proud to see it happen or see it to come into fruition.
Let me tell you something, elder brother.
It makes me excited.
It's our turn. You see,
I hope so.
everybody
really
counted the Xers out because we went through the crucible of the crack epidemic and mass incarceration. They just threw our whole generation away. Our own tribe threw our generation away. We were the latchkey kids, the original slacker generation, and so on and so forth. These motherfuckers ain't gonna be about shit. Little did they know that they was nursing on their breasts a sleeping giant.
I hope so. Did you? I sent you a text. Did you see that with Nina Turner talking to Speak from Young Turks? Did you see that?
I sure did.
Yep. Now, see, when she talks like that, I wonder if Bernie Sanders in the background listening to that.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Because the point couldn't be any more plain than what she sit there and said.
But see, here's the thing.
They're talking about the reparations.
Fam, Nina Turner provides cover for Bernard Sanders. Killer Mike provides cover for Bernard Sanders. Killer Mike can come to us and be like, I'm here as a student, and I'm trying to understand what ADOS is all about. And wherever my people willing to go, I'm willing to support their efforts and their aims and this and the third, right? So then ADOS is like, okay, well then you really here to be on the team and to learn what you need to learn so that you can be a proper advocate. What you need to do is get this data that we dropping about 2053, about the racial wealth gap, and so on and so forth, and you need to go holler at your man. Guess what? When his man show up in the motherfucking public sphere, right, in the public scene, and he gets asked about us, he still don't know who the hell we are. That can only lead us to two conclusions, right? One of two conclusions. One,
all right,
either Killer Mike just simply can't pick up what the fuck we laying down, so he's useless.
Okay.
Or Killer Mike is picking it up, giving it to motherfucking Bernie, and Bernie don't give a fuck, which makes Bernie useless. Either way, Bernie's a no-go. If Killer Mike got access,
I really believe.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, fam.
I believe the second part. I believe the second part. I believe that he knows, but like you said before, he doesn't care like that.
Fam, whichever one you believe, the best part about this scenario, fam, is that whichever one you believe, our response should remain the same. So if Killer Mike is the incompetent one, right? He's just this big dumb, rapper nigga who don't know shit from Shinola, right? Who out here spinning his wheels and running off at the dick suckers, right? If that's the case, and he was able to get access to this man who allegedly has his hands on the strings of power, that says more about the character of Bernard Sanders, that he would choose to affiliate with somebody who operate that way. You feel me? Right? So there's that piece. But now if Killer Mike, and I'm not saying Killer Mike is any of what I just said, I'm just saying if that's the case, right, the Killer Mike useless to us, and that makes Bernard Sanders' choice of fucking with Killer Mike suspect, right? Now, if Killer Mike isn't that cat, if Killer Mike really is on point and he is picking up what we laying down and he is running it to his man and his man don't have nothing to say, but we know, what do you mean by reparations? I don't understand what you mean, even though he, co-sponsored the JEST Act of 2017, although when his people was getting reparations from Germany and other countries, he understood perfectly what reparations means and so on and so forth, right? So my point is that regardless of whichever one of those is true, as ADOS, that makes our response simple as hell, doesn't it, fam?
Okay.
It makes how we operate with Bernard Sanders.
You got it.
Super simple.
As always, man, I enjoy the show, and I look forward to October. I really, really do. And I hope to talk to you again soon.
Hey, brother, always a pleasure as always. Thank you so much for the call, fam. See, fam, you got to understand something. ADOS is our best shot at understanding the reality of what it means for us to be America in America. Be American in America, right? It's as simple as that, fam. It makes our choices so simple. This advocacy, this moment, this transformational moment that we're picking up and we're embracing, the baton that the ancestors handed off to us This is not a burden that is hard to carry. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't it Yeshua that said, why don't you follow my way? He said, because the yoke is light. It's easy to pull this motherfucking plow. Because understanding ADOS gives us the language and the lens to be able to understand clearly just what we need to do. They can't kill our ancestors. Our ancestors are already our ancestors. And they're the ones who lead us. Our justice claim, the invoice that we're presenting, is for 400 years from 1619 to 2019. Boom. And they cannot deny the validity of the motherfucking debt. This is not one they're going to be able to write to Equifax and say, I think the niggers are lying. Please wipe this off my credit report. No. Because we are America. We know what is owed to us. You feel me? These fakers, frauds, phonies, these ersatz activists, these, sometimes black, but the rest of the time white supremacists, fuck them. Who needs Van Jones? Man, I got my ancestors drumbeat in my head 24/7. I wake up hearing their voice. I go to sleep at night hearing their voice. Their blood crying out from the soil to me, telling me, son, it's your turn. It's your turn to fight. It's your turn to present the invoice, and it's your turn to make them pony the fuck up. All you have to do, fam, all you have to do is just listen. Get the data. Ask the questions. Who you? What's your angle? What you putting in? Where you from? And demand your prerogatives as the American of America. And this advocacy becomes the easiest work you've ever done. This shit is not a burden. It's a joy. It's my joy, fam, and my honor as your brother and one who loves you to come and serve. Fam, you got these hearts that are 3 sizes too big and you care so much about everybody and everything. Fine. Perfectly good. Mark Black will never tell you to not be that way. The only thing I ask you to do is take all of the effort, all of the love, all of the morality, all of the ethics, all of the care and concern, the principle, the spirituality. Take it all that you are willing to give to everybody else and give that plus 1 unit of value more to your tribe. And this work becomes light. I'm not telling you that if you want to go stand with Standing Rock to not go. I think you're stupid. But that's me. I'm your brother. I can think you're stupid. Because you probably think I'm stupid on some shit. That's what family is. Sometimes we beef. I'd be like, why are you standing with them damn Indians in the cold, in the rain, in the wet, up in North Dakota and Standing Rock? They wouldn't stand for you. But I'm not telling you don't go do it. We got the biggest hearts of anybody in America. Do you. Be that. But be that plus 1 for your tribe. For a fucking change. Be everything you already are, ADOS. Plus 1 for ADOS. Be that. But put us in the front. Faith, hope, and charity. But the greatest of these is charity. Charity, charis in Greek, is a word for love. Faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love, right? Love yourself first, though, because if you can't love you, you ain't really got no love to give to nobody else. I don't give a fuck how big you think your heart is, fam. If you don't have that love for the ADOS standing next to you, what are you doing? Damn what they are, who they date, what they eat, how they talk, what class they in, what educational level they got. They're your brothers and your sisters. probably more truer than you will ever know. Hearken to the voice of your ancestors. They looking to pass the baton. They are the reason why you're here. You thought you was here to live just for you like everybody else in America thinks? No, that was not the gift you were given at the moment of your birth, fam. You were given the gift of being the one that has to live for righteousness, for justice, for truth, for passion. We got the biggest hearts, the most open minds. I'm not telling you to be anything other than what you are. I'm telling you to be that, but put your tribe first, like everybody else do. That's all. That's all. If other people who want to be affiliated with you are coming to you and they are not willing to put your tribe first, who the fuck are they? Why do you even care what they think? Why do you care what they got to say? Why are you interested in what they own? Why are you chasing them down, looking for them? Right? When your people are going through the crucible, through the hell, where are they? Where are the John Browns? That's a good ass question to ask, fam. For all these allies of ours, all these soft racists who claim to be allies of ours, ask them this. Ask them what they think about John Brown. Ask if they think that John Brown was right. Ask if they think that John Brown should be lifted up and honored. Because if they can't answer that question, you already know what type of motherfucker they are. They may be many things to you. They may be tools. They may be cat's paws. But they sure in the hell ain't allies. When I was a child, I did the things of a child and acted like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things and took up the ways of a man. It is time for ADOS to grow up and be the parent of America that we always had the right to be. America's been this kid that's been out of line for 400 years. I don't believe in whipping kids, but I do believe in chastising them. America is time for a chastising. It is time for them to have a come to ADOS meeting. And it's time for them to be called to account, to be called out on the carpet, to have their funeral preached, their boots read. You know the euphemism. And then after we've proverbially taken America out behind the tool shed and done the needful, and we done got this debt paid, we can go ahead and move forward with what, get down with the get down. Until then, there can be no peace. There can be nothing from ADOS. It's time to have a come to Black Jesus moment for America. That's all. That's all, fam. This isn't hard. It's just time for America to get its tune up. We done let America run roughshod for the last 400 years. Think that it's got everything all its own way. Letting them claim the title, the mantle of American, anybody who come here without respecting who's been here. Nah, we let them call us xenophobes. Thank you, fam. We let them call us haters, racists. Oh, y'all hate other black people. This bullshit. Fam, truth be told, and I'm just keeping it a buck, I think the only people, black people, ADOS people kind of hate is ourselves. If we really truly understood what and who we are in relation to America, man, the love that you would experience when you walk out the door into your community would be immense. Because everybody around you would know that they were talking to a treasure. Living evidence that is going to be used to press home the greatest justice claim the world has ever seen. When I see you, when I see me, I see you. That's what I see. I see magnificence. I see the bearers of the reality, the truth of what America is. The reality that all men are created equal with inalienable rights given to them by their creator. I see that in you. I don't see that in anybody else in America. When I think about a more perfect union, it starts with ADOS. Because nobody else gives a fuck about a more perfect union. Fam, do I need to go on and on and on about it? You the American. I'm telling you, be the American. Demand your prerogatives as the American, as the American. Not as an American, the American. Think about it. Fam, it's been a pleasure as always. I want to thank Sister Tanzonia for the wonderful super chat. I really appreciate the support. I appreciate your hearts, your minds, your eyeballs for the time that I have it. I hope that I have done you justice. I hope that I've done right by you, providing you with education, information, and inspiration. If you think that my work is worthy of continuing, if you have not already done so, please consider becoming a patron of mine. Again, I'm asking everybody to just put $5 a month on it, right? But again, even if all you got is $1, it is appreciated. It is appreciated. Don't look down on it. I would definitely be grateful. And be on the lookout for Hump Day, right? Wednesday broadcast where we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get it in on Wednesday. I got a great topic that I'm gonna bring to you. One that I've been discussing with Miss Denny in some detail, and she's looking forward to that broadcast, and so am I. So, fam, until the next time your brother sees you, as always, I want to wish you all love, peace, prosperity, and power. Real power to our people.